All right, cool. Looks like it's recording. All right, so I've had a lot of questions about problem 51 in chapter 6. So I figured I'd do a video about it because you can do those problems in Excel. So let me do a screen share here. All right, so problem 51. We're looking for a length of a particular telemarketing phone call, X as an exponential distribution with mean equal to 1.5 minutes. So it wants us to write a formula for part A. So I'll go ahead and have the formula here. So since we know that we're going to need lambda, so we have lambda equals 1/2 mean, that's regular. And we know our mean is 1.5. So if lambda equals 1 over our mean, we have 1 over 1.5, which equals 2/3 of a minute. So then for our formula, we would just have f of x equals lambda times e, and then exponent negative lambda times x. So in other words, like 2/3 times e to the exponent -2x over 3 for if x is greater than or equal to 0. So the formula part was pretty easy. And then over here we have for part C, we have to figure out, there's a couple different ones we have to figure out. No more than 3 minutes, between 1 and 2 minutes, more than 4 minutes, and less than 30 seconds. So if you wanted to do this in Excel, let me open up Excel right here. All right, I'll open up a new one here and we'll make Excel a little bit smaller. Hopefully everyone can still see it here. Let me move this over a little. And let's see, I'll go ahead and zoom in just so it's easier to see. All right, so for part 1, since we're figuring out no more than 3 minutes, we're going to do probability x is less than or equal to 3. So for that, we have 1 minus e to the exponent of -2. So let's see, I'm going to put c there and I'll put 1 there. That way we can kind of keep track of where we're at. So all we have to do in Excel is I'm going to do equals 1 minus, and then for e, you just do exp. And when you type in exp, it even says returns e raised to the power of a given number. So basically e to an exponent. So I'm going to click on there. And then this is a beautiful formula because you only have to type in one number. It's not like other formulas where you have to have x and your mean and standard deviation. And then you have to figure out if it's going to be true or false. All you got to do is type in one number. So our first one has an exponent of -2. So I'm just going to do -2. And then enter. All right, and then I got 0.86467, or rounding it up, 0.8647. All right, then I'll do problem 2. Let's see, so for problem 2, it wants between 1 and 2 minutes. So we have it written out here. Probability 1 is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 2, equals e to the exponent -2/3 minus e to the exponent -4/3. So how we got that is, if we remember our formula up here, we're doing e to the negative lambda. We know our lambda is 2/3 times a. So here our a is 1, so that's why we have -2/3, because our lambda is 2/3 and we're just doing negative lambda. Then the second number here, how do we get -4/3? According to our formula here, it's just negative lambda times b, and we're saying our b over here is 2. So 2/3 times 2 equals, well, -2/3 times 2 equals -4/3. So that's how we got those numbers there. So for this one, I'm going to kind of just do a two-parter. I'm just going to do equals and then exp to find our e. Let's see, and then we just do -2 over 3. But we're not done yet because we still have to do the second part of it. So I'm going to do equals exp. and click on there. Click on there. All right, and then we need -4/3, so -4 divided by 3. All right, and we're not done yet because remember it was the first part e to the exponent -2/3 minus e to the exponent -4/3. So we just have to subtract these two. So I'm just going to do equals and then click on that cell minus that cell. And it gives us 0.24982. So over here in part 3, so part 3 says more than 4 minutes. So we have probability x is greater than 4. So if we follow our formula from before, that would give us e is e with an exponent -8/3. Because we're doing 2/3, well, -2/3 times 4 would give us -8/3. So over here for 3, we're just going to do equals exp. And then our exponent is -8 divided by 3. And we'll hit enter. And we get 0.069, basically 0.0695 if you're rounding up to the 4th decimal place. All right, and then we have problem number 4. It's asking for less than 30 seconds. So this is one where they're kind of trying to throw you a curveball because we're doing everything in minutes and then it says 30 seconds. So we know 30 seconds is like half of a minute. So it would be P, or probability of X, is less than 0.5 because it's half a minute. So that equals 1 minus E to the exponent -1/3. So over here, I'm just going to do equals 1 minus EXP. And then I'll click on EXP. And then our number is -1 divided by 3. And we get 0.28347, or rounding up to the 4th decimal place, 0.2835. So that kind of covers 6.51. It's kind of a trickier problem, so I figured I'd do a video on it because I was getting some emails about how to work on it. So I figured hopefully this kind of explains it, and it also kind of shows you how to do the problem in Excel.